What's up guys, welcome back to Stauffer Garage, and if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any of the new detailed videos that I'm putting out. Today's video is going to be about the dreaded minivan. This has been completely kid trashed, and I have to say it is actually my kids. 4 minions that essentially have wreaked havoc to our minivan, and we have number 5 on the way, but let me go ahead and show you what it looks like of my minivan. Now, if you guys are minivan owners as well, you understand this, that honestly, I did hashtag work trucks need love too. Hashtag minivans need love too, because minivans are workhorses in my opinion, because you're just trying to survive as a parent sometimes, and sometimes you just don't care things get messy in the back because you have other things to worry about, and sometimes it's just not worth it. You fight a lot of battles, and sometimes you just gotta let some go. Everything that I recommend in this video, I have linked in the description box below. So if you want to check them out, make sure you go ahead and check out those links. All right, so the first step with any detail is get everything out of the car. I usually have some sort of Tupperware bin that I just kind of dump everything into. In this case, I had 2, one for trash and one for stuff to sort and figure out if I was gonna keep it. You can tell there's a lot of different things in this one. I got crayons, I got books, I got toys, I got food. It's a mess. Get it all out so that way you can see what the surface actually looks like. And I made a big mistake by starting without wearing gloves. Make sure you guys wear gloves when you're doing detailing, just so you can kind of keep the products off your hands that you use, but also you have no idea what you're gonna find and touch. It's always best to wear gloves. So when you remove car seats from a minivan, this is kind of the mystery segment where you're not really sure what you're gonna find underneath. When you remove them, that's when you're gonna see the true damage that the kids have done in the back. And in this case, it was truly disastrous, but we'll be able to get it all taken care of. One recommendation I have is if you have the ability to pull out the seats from the car and there's stains in between or underneath, it will make your life 10 times easier if you can go ahead and pull them out of the vehicle. Plus you can get to all of the stains more thoroughly that are underneath those seats without having to miss any spots. As you can see, there's messes everywhere. Luckily, the rubber floor mats catches a lot of it. We do have some stains that we'll be extracting. We will be pressure washing or just cleaning off the floor mats. I'll show you how to do that, along with how to use a steam cleaner to get a lot of these clean, and also with the disinfecting that needs to be done. And then also we'll be taking care of these leather seats. Let's go ahead and get into the bulk of this detail. If you have a minivan, make sure you get all weather floor. If you have kids, what am I talking about? If you have kids, get all weather floor mats. It's one of the best things that you can do. The only thing that I don't have that I'm regretting right now is the protectors underneath the seats. Alright, so all the seat covers, those are going to go directly into the washer machine and wash them on hot water by themselves and then let them air dry. And then each of these seats, I think what I'm going to end up doing is just pressure washing them and cleaning them out. That way, because I mean they just have so much stuff caked in the bottom, I'm just going to probably just wash them. Take the hose to them and scrub them. I mean it's bad. Some of them are worse than others, but regardless they just need to be cleaned. I mean look at the amount of stuff that came out of, I mean like, why does my kid have a key to a master lock in the back? In their seat. That's disgusting. So one thing to remember when you are vacuuming, try to get into all those little nooks and crannies and some of those inconspicuous areas that you wouldn't normally go into. In this case, underneath the spare tire well, that will collect more dirt and more debris than you could possibly imagine. So get underneath there, push the seats forward and back to get underneath all of the different rails and different components in the front that you wouldn't normally get to. Just try to be as thorough as possible because you'll be surprised at the amount of stuff you'll find. But also it's just a nice touch to have some of those different areas that maybe you wouldn't look at immediately as an owner, but after your car gets detailed, if you see that it is clean as well, it's just a nice little extra touch. So if you're planning on doing any sort of extraction or carpet cleaning, the vacuuming stage is something not to skimp on, because it's like with any project, prep is the most important part, and vacuuming is kind of that prep, because if you're not getting out as much as you can in that initial stage, it's going to be much more difficult to get it out when you're doing your extraction or you're pulling out more stuff and not actually getting the stain out that you're trying to focus on. All right, so for the interior panels itself, and excuse this crazy hair, whatever it is, anyways, I am using Chemical Guys All Clear Plus. This is a citrus-based concentrate fluid, so it needs to be watered down for interior panels, which is just 20-to-1 for the water, with water. I'm using invisible glass on the windows, and then I am using Silk Shine dressing from Chemical Guys as well. This is my new favorite stuff for interior panels. It'll be my top coat for the plastic and for the leather on the steering wheel, along with the leather seats. After I've cleaned those with the all-purpose cleaner, I think it'll come out well. This stuff is non-greasy and non-sticky too, which is nice, so it should kind of make them shine nicely and be a nice topper coat. And then from a brush standpoint, I have 2 small bristle brushes and then also this big scrub brush. So my last video, you guys actually gave me a tip that I did not realize before, is when you're cleaning glass windows, after you've cleaned the whole surface, crack the window down so you can get that top edge that's usually inside the gasket. And that was a suggestion that you guys gave me that I am now implementing in all of my details. So thank you guys for that. And with that being said, if you do see anything that I am doing incorrectly or have any suggestions on doing something easier, let me know in the comments below. So when I'm doing the cleaning stage, I like to spray the vents directly, use a brush to agitate them, get any dust or dirt that's collected inside there, and then turn on the actual fan itself to blow air out, and it'll blow out any dust and debris that's kind of collected in there at this point when it's just in the initial cleaning stages. And that way when the customer gets the car back, they're not going to turn the fan on and then all of a sudden get this dust or anything blown out at them. So now it is time to bust out my favorite tool, the steam cleaner. I have been using it now for a couple months, and to be honest, I really don't understand how I haven't had one before in the past. It really is helpful with getting out some of the more difficult stains that are stuck in a lot of these cracks. Because it is pressurized, it'll actually blast a lot of that dirt out, which helps a lot because you're not pulling out your brushes, you're not having to go through all this struggle with getting some of these things out that the steam cleaner takes care of for you. And just remember, you know, always keep your steam cleaner moving. Don't keep it in one concentrated area for too long. You know, it is boiling water, right? I mean, it is super, super warm and hot, so you will melt through plastic if you leave it sitting there against the panel and holding it full down, full blast. And as long as you're just not holding it there, you won't have any issues. Now I'm getting to work on these brackets that hold in the center section of seats, and the steam cleaner is coming in handy and getting into those different holes where the screws are located, and also those different areas that are harder to get to with just your finger and towel or a brush. And the whole time I'm doing this, I didn't get to the conclusion that I should probably just take out the screws, take out the whole plastic panels. You can get to the areas underneath them where dirt has collected, underneath the plastic panels themselves. But also when you're doing a carpet cleaning now, I'm going to be able to get to all of the carpet and not have any overlap where the plastic's covering some dirt that might be underneath the surface. Alright guys, yesterday I left off with cleaning the carpet and getting these plastic panels out. Today, the main goal is going to be getting this carpet cleaned, which now with these panels removed here and all of these areas cleaned, getting the carpet will be so much easier. And these panels that I pulled out, I'm actually going to soak them in that bucket so that way the dirt and everything else that I did not get will come off. Today we are going to be tackling getting these cup holders clean. We're going to be tackling getting the rear seats cleaned as well, and then getting the cup holders over there, and then getting everything put back into the car before we finish dressing and covering everything with our final protectant. So for cleaning the carpets, I am using the Bristle little green machine. It's a tiny consumer product that you can use inside and outside the house, and it's nothing commercial or super powerful, but it gets majority of the jobs done that I do. So I like to use an all-purpose cleaner. In this case, I am using the Chemical Guys product that I'll have linked in the description box below. I'm just using that and diluting it per the ratio on the bottle itself into my carpet cleaner. One thing I like to do is spray an initial pass where I'm just actually spraying fluid onto the carpet and then agitating it pretty aggressively, and then following up with a pass with the sprayer nozzle itself to then extract all that dirty fluid. And if you look here on the top right of your screen, you'll actually see the fluid level slowly coming up and how dark and dirty it truly is. So here's the money shot. This is the dirty water that just came from that trunk section that I was cleaning. It didn't include the front section that already had been dumped out, so I was kind of blown away at how much was actually in just that back area. But now that I've done the extraction portion, I like to follow up with a vacuum. This is to primarily pull out any remaining fluid that my wet vac might be pulling out extra over my carpet cleaner. And then I like to use a hard bristle brush to brush the fibers in one direction. It allows you to see if there's any other spots that you might have missed, and it's also aesthetically pleasing to kind of get some sort of direction with your carpet, kind of like carpet lines when you're vacuuming inside of your house. So when it comes to doing door jambs, I usually do that when I'm doing an exterior detail, but I've recently started doing it when I'm doing the interior as well, because sometimes you're not doing both at the same time, and in this case, I'm just doing the interior, so it's nice to have a clean door jamb, and the steam cleaner comes in particular handy here, where you're able to get a lot of that dirt that's kind of caked on or grease that's caked on there, get it moving and get it off the surface that it's stuck to, and you're also running water down those door jambs where water's supposed to from the steam cleaner, and then you can just wipe it up as you're going through with a clean microfiber towel.
Vamos a bailar.
Now here's the beauty of an all-weather floor mat. All you have to do is take them out, vacuum them, spray them down with an all-purpose cleaner, scrub them with the scrub brush, and then rinse it off with a hose, and you're done. And that'll take care of majority of the process. But if you have anything else lingering, you can always use a steam cleaner or a pressure washer. But in this case, I didn't have to do any of those steps, and then follow up with some sort of protectant, which in this case, I'm using the Chemical Guys Silk and Shine. So now that we've used the all-purpose cleaner on all of the plastic interior panels, it is now time to follow up with some sort of protectant on the surface. And in this case, I'm using the Chemical Guys Silk and Shine, which has a UV protectant to help keep those panels from fading and decoloring over time. One way that I like to apply Silk and Shine is to spray it liberally onto a brand new microfiber towel, and then use that to kind of coat and go over all of the interior panels. And as you go through each panel, you spray a little bit more onto the towel, saturating a little bit further. So eventually, as you get to the last panel, you really don't have to add a whole lot more product, and it allows you to get the most bang for your buck, in my opinion. So for different types of screens and plastic panels on a dashboard, I like to use different products. When it comes to the gauge bezel that has a plastic covering over the gauges, or some of the screens with plastic panels as well, I'll use invisible glass cleaner on those. But if it's an actual LCD screen, I'll just use a clean microfiber towel that is damp with just water, and use that to clean the screen, and then follow up with a drying towel afterwards to leave no streaks.
Hey, I'm here for you. Are you reading every message I send to you? Love is overdue, but you know that I could never give up on you. I won't close my door, no matter what you say. It's bringing you down. Your clothes are still on my floor.
So for the bolts, I used all-purpose cleaner with a wire brush to lightly scrub them to get any dirt that was inside the head itself, but also to get some of the rust off the surface.
I hope you have my heart with you somehow. I keep your picture close to my bed now, and waiting for the screen to light up, to light up, to light up. Hey, I'm here for you. Are you reading every message I send to you? Love is overdue, but you know that I could never give up on you.
So now it is time to clean the seats in the middle that had the really nasty cushions from the car seats on top of them that we saw at the beginning of this detail. And I'm just using all-purpose cleaner with a bristle brush to pre-treat the stain, soak it, and then agitate it with my bristle brush and wipe it away. I was actually shocked with how easily the caked on goo came off and how good the seats looked after I cleaned them and then protected them with the Silk and Shine. And here are the end results, which turned out incredible from where we first started. So if you guys wanted to see the difference, just go ahead and skip back to the very beginning and then come back to now, and you'll see how much of a transformation this car has gone through from being dirty to clean now. So if you've made it to the end of the video, I just want to tell you thank you personally for all the comments you guys leave below, for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any new amazing content that I have coming out. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.